to the Garuda Unplugged show. We each have our head, our arms, our belly, and our legs. This is the shaman or the Brahmin in us. This is the warrior. The belly is the mercantile that generates wealth, the mercantile merchant in us, and the legs are our worker bee. Whether we're painting t-shirts, we're doing all the various things we do. So I want you to think about nourishing the warrior inside of you and the shaman or the priest, the priestess inside of you. And as you go on listening to these shows, try to listen deep within, between the lines, because there are places that these realizations come from that we all have to tap into collectively. So that's the introduction for this 10-minute segment. And each segment's going to have a different introduction. Thank you. This is the coastline off St. George Island. The water here is very, very clean and clear. And somewhere in this general area are the real residents of the Gulf. You can see them. They're a little bit over there. There you go. Giving us a little hello there. We hope you're the good. So going with the water realizations, the water realities, the above reality, water reality. Well, water, the word marina is cognate to the word Miriam, the name Miriam, and Mother Mary, obviously, is in there. Mary, Miriam. And there's a word in Sanskrit that is also a name of the goddess, which is Narayani. And it means of, from, or related to the water. So we're kind of in that boat right now. All right. Water, water, water. And also, Narayani is the feminine form of the word Narayan, which is Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu, all the water of the universe comes from him. At the bottom of the universe is a great ocean of water called the Garbhodak Ocean. And so Garbhodakshayi Vishnu enters into the bottom of the universe in that water and lays underneath at the beginning of creation. So what happened next is the first living being in the universe, the creator, one of the chief demigods, right up there with Lord Shiva, is Lord Brahma. And he has 4 heads, and I always say for the 4 directions. But that's not proven yet. It's just my own conjecture. So Lord Brahma sprouts out of a lotus flower, actually, that comes out of the navel of Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, who is lying under the water. And so the universe is devoid of all planets at that time, and it's dark. And so he sits there after climbing down the stem and finding just water and looking up and getting back onto the top of the lotus. He wonders what he should do, and so he prays. And he hears this word come from Lord Vishnu, which is tapa. Lord Vishnu, or God, is asking all of us to do tapa, which is austerity, penance, self-control, purity of thought, simple living, high thinking, and ultimately pure meditation on the sweet sound of our favorite holy name of God. And if you don't have a holy name, you can sing and meditate with beads or even anything that gives you the tactile sense of touch. Sometimes I pick up a stone or a twig if I don't have beads with me. Or I just rub my fingers together. And we close our eyes and we meditate. Allah, Allah, Buddha, Buddha, Jesus, Jesus, Yahweh, Yahweh, Wankantunka, Great Spirit, Hare Krishna, Radhe, Radhe, Allah, Allah, Buddha, Buddha, Jesus, Jesus, Yahweh, Yahweh, Wankantunka, Great Spirit, Hare Krishna, Radhe, Radhe. And so Lord Brahma sat in meditation on top of the lotus flower for 10,000 years. And after that time, a window to the spiritual world opened up. This would be the highest planet in the spiritual world. By the will of the Lord, a realm opened up between this dark universe. And then the source of all incarnations, Param Bhagavan, is Sri Krishna. And so Sri Krishna played on his flute to enlighten Lord Brahma. You think we need books to get enlightened? What we need is the sound of love and the divine flute played from the lips of God. And so Lord Sri Krishna played on his flute, the blue cowherd boy. And with that sound, filled the 8 ear holes of Lord Brahma. And through the ears, the perfect realization of everything he needed to know to be the greatest demigod, to create many, many innumerable bodies that fill this universe. That is where it came from. The enlightenment came from that flute sound. Sorry, I'm navigating the waters here. And so, when he knew exactly what he was to do, he began creating innumerable planets and sages and rishis and chief demigods and sages. They all came from his body. And with all of his powers endowed to him by the creator of creators, you see, the reason Vishnu doesn't do it himself is because it's a material task. It has a temporary function, a beginning and end. In fact, of the 3 modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, Lord Brahma is in charge of the mode of passion, which is about creativity, creation. And we can use that mode in the service of the Lord and actually be a very passionate, creative person. Like I painted this t-shirt, you know? I'm an artist, I'm a musician. You just dovetail everything. That's real renunciation. If your eyes change, if they're smeared with the balm of love, we can see and use everything in the service of the Lord and His Lady. And so, we can use everything, even in the mode of passion. Very few things in the mode of ignorance, because ignorance is anger and stuff. Many things we can use in the mode of goodness. Vegetarian, no vices, getting up early, spending a lot of time in nature. All of these things are conducive to our spiritual life. But the mode of ignorance isn't. It's tamasa. Tamaguna. It's tamasic. And it's dark. It's when everything's in disrepair and we're bogged down with the highest illusion. Anger is considered to be in the mode of ignorance. Lust and greed. Envy. So all of these things we have to give up. We can get angry only if we're extremely purified and we've been engaged in so much service to the Lord that all these moments of complete surrender and pleasure, not just to the Lord, because the checks and balances are with the Lord's associates, the devotees of God, and all the traditions. It's like I know someone who says she goes to church, you know, but she only does it online, and she doesn't like being around congregations. And I'm like, that's not being spiritual, because God wants you to be with their children. And it's kind of an antisocial behavior, and we can't have that in the spiritual world, because we'll exclude all living beings, all the animals and plants, and just be picking and choosing. And the reason why we can't do that is because it inhibits us from exhibiting compassion, you know. So, yes. So at the time of creation, Lord Brahma supplies the bodies, but Vishnu from under the causal ocean glances all the souls into the bodies. Even the planet, the whole entire planets have a person that presides, and that's their body.